Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's GareTheBear, and I'm back with you guys again with a brand new video. Now in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So as you guys know, I have officially moved into college. We're going good, going strong, doing good things. And as you guys also know, a lot of the college diet consists of a lot of junk food, just snacks, and quick microwavable stuff you make on the go, just out and about doing things. So, a very common collegiate food is none other than ramen. So today, I'm going to be showing you guys my method, and a very good method, of making ramen in the microwave. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so the first step, obviously, you're going to want to open the package up. Open that thing up. And what I always do is pour, just take it into your bowl, whatever size bowl you need. Just dump it in there, get all the little pieces in there in the bottom and pull out the seasoning packet like that. And sometimes your bowl may be a little bit too small. So I always cover it up with my hand like that, just crack it in to make sure it fits 100% of the way. You can elect to either break the noodles up into smaller pieces to have smaller sized noodles, or just whatever you feel. But for this example, I'm just gonna leave it as is. And now a lot of the trouble people have with making ramen in the microwave is how much water they put in it. And now you gotta understand kind of how the water works in this situation. So what I always do is I always fill the water up to right the surface of the noodles. That way it covers it all nice and still soaks it all and gets it kind of good. What I always do with the water is I would make sure I hit the entire square. That way, every bit is wet. Even if it isn't completely submerged in water, the entire thing is a little bit wet. And right as it starts to flow is when I stop. So as you can see here, we have nice noodles floating on top of the water. So the next step I'm going to do is with this container, just put the lid on. And it's got this little airflow thing that I use just to have a little bit of flow. And the key for this is to have airflow, because if you use a container and you close the lid on top of it, or you just don't even have a lid to begin with, it'll A, boil over, and B, it won't allow for the vapors to escape. It'll just keep it all in there, and that will be more water that you have later that you may want to strain or do whatever. So for this, it has a little vapor hole, so it'll all just come out. As far as time goes, we're going to slap it in the microwave. The first time you do it, you want to do it for 2 minutes. And this will first soften up the noodles enough to where you can break them apart and then add your seasoning packet later. So we're going to chuck on 2 minutes and let it rip. And so while this thing is in the microwave, I'm going to explain to you the next step that we're going to do in our process. So when I pull this out of the microwave, we're going to break it up the noodles with a fork, break them up, make them nice and separate, and then evenly spread the seasoning packet, the entire thing, over the top, which will allow for even distribution of the seasoning, which will allow for just beautiful, beautiful ramen in general. And another thing I always do before I put in the seasoning packet is sometimes it just kind of works its way up to the top, so I always grab it by the closed end and just shake it up. That way it's all packed in at the bottom, nice, ready to go for you. And this is just a personal preference. It has no effect on how the stuff actually turns out at the end. But it's just something I kind of like to do just to kill some time while the noodles are cooking, you know. And while you're waiting, throw your seasoning packet on the ground, and I always take care of the trash. Dispose of the evidence, as it were. Just clean up after yourself. It's very important when you're cooking, have a clean space to work on. And I'm going to grab our silverware. That's a knife. Here we go. Boom. Fork. So we got 5 seconds left on the timer, and we're going to crack this thing open, and I'll show you guys the rest of the process. So here we have the beautiful thing in the microwave. We're going to pull it out. And sometimes your container will be hot, so I recommend like a little thing to put on the bottom, so it doesn't affect your counter, but this isn't too bad. And as you can see here, you can see the noodles are not broken up by themselves. What you want to do is penetrate with your fork, break them up a little bit, just like so. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of water in there. But what I always do before, I put the seasoning in, and then what I do before putting it back in is I always let them sit for a little bit. That allows the water to soak into them and the seasoning to kind of settle a little bit, to just kind of penetrate the noodles with the flavor. Make it all nice and yummy for you. So we're going to just break these up a little bit more. And this allows for the water to soak into the noodles a little bit better. Because sometimes if you just leave the block like how it is and you cook it again, the water won't soak in as well. So it will just kind of be a square of noodles in a puddle of water. You don't really want that. Alright, so here we go. These are pretty well broken up now. And now what we're going to do is take your seasoning packet, and as I displayed earlier, do the old shakaroo. And then we're going to break it open, tear it open, I always shake it up a little bit, get it even. And this may not be necessary, but it's just I shake it evenly. And then this is a very important step. This is crucial to your seasoning. So I'm gonna get the fork out of there so I can do it properly. So I always sprinkle it on lightly and an even coat over the entire bowl. So kind of like that, just even across the whole thing. And as you can see, a little bit is covered over the entire thing. So just get the last bit out. And now we're going to kind of like stir it just a little bit to kind of get it mixed in with the water, and it'll turn it into like a broth kind of. We're going to let that sit for like just a few seconds, kind of like let it get settled. Put your lid back on, and it depending on the container, you want to either like have your vent hole open as I said earlier, or you want to just have the lid not like on the container, but sitting on top of it, offset to where there's a hole for the air to come out and breathe. Next thing we're going to do is pop the microwave back open, and we're just gonna slide it back in. And this second time we cook it, we want to do it for a minute instead of 2 minutes, because the first section was just like getting the water and it's expanding and doing all that kind of thing. The second time is just allowing the seasoning to settle into the noodles by themselves. So 1 minute on the clock, and let's get cooking, people. And so after I cook it for the last minute of the timer, what I like to do is let it sit again. That allows the broth to just like sit and soak into the noodles and allow that extra depth of flavor. And then I stir it up, and sometimes I'll add like chicken or something else to it to make it more of a meal as opposed to a snack. But again, this is college and we don't do meals, we do snacks all the time, 24/7, you don't know how it is. But if you're feeling extra fancy at home, or just wherever you have the extra protein or food or whatever you want to add to it, you feel free to doctor these up as much as you want, because this is just the base for your amazing ramen feast. 2, 1. Alright, so we're going to pop open the microwave again. And the cooking process, all you need the microwave. Microwave is done. You don't need the microwave anymore. So thank you, microwave, for being very helpful in this video. I'm going to set this down and we're going to get a good view on it. We're going to open it up. And as you can see on top of this container, there's lots of water vapor. Condensation just chilling there. Pull that open. And as you can see, the noodles have kind of like changed color just a little bit. So what that's a good thing. That's what you want. Because you don't want like white noodles in brown water. You want like a beautiful, golden, rich, gorgeous specimen. But like that's kind of what you're after. So I always stir it up. And it's like best, in my opinion, whenever you have the ratio of noodle to water is like perfect. So you want to let it sit, like stir it around a little bit, and then let it soak for like a minute or two. Or just whenever you like feel like you need, like whenever you make it, normally what I would do is I'd make it and then go off and do something for a minute or just a couple minutes, however long you want. Let that sit out and just, like it's not gonna get cool. It's not gonna get cold on you, but it'll allow it to soak it up. And then it'll just add to the flavor. Generally, this is just about done. This is pretty good. So check it out right here. This is the GareTheBear perfect microwavable ramen, ladies and gentlemen. So last thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna taste this and see how good it actually is. So I'm gonna be my own taste tester today. I'm not gonna be biased or anything, but I'm gonna let it sit and soak for just a minute more, just to kind of allow it to do its thing. And after this is done soaking, we're gonna get right to the taste test and then send you guys off the end of the video. So after a long day of classes in college, you like to kick back on your couch in your suite, just chillax with a nice cup of ramen, you know, and you just turn the TV on and you just eat some ramen. So we're gonna give this a try here, and I'll let you guys know what it tastes like and everything. And some people might use a spoon, some might use a fork, some might even use chopsticks, whatever you feel. It's just the beautiful aroma of the ramen is undefeated in the collegiate level of eating. Ladies and gentlemen, that is some good ramen. So, with that, I leave you today. Hope you all did enjoy this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like on it. Let me know in the comments if you want to see some more videos kind of like this, cooking, or just whatever. But without further ado, this has been GareTheBear. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys again next time.